So, there's been a lot of talk on the trade front for the Cleveland Browns. A few different things. Something that they had going on was there's been this Gary Wilson rumor, which I think originated in the Twitter Spaces, and folks who be having sources, so we kind of tend to believe that. But I mean, I think you got to think about uh, would that make this team better? 1,000%. The receivers have been an issue with catching the ball, as well as getting separation and making plays after the catch. And a player like Garrett Wilson, I think you make that trade 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 times. What type of compensation do you give up? I don't know. Um, if you can do that without getting the first, then it's easy to make that decision and make that play. Also, it's come up a few different times that on the trading block is basically any Brown that has an expiring contract, which is quite frankly like 50% of the roster. I think David Njoku leads that charge, although he's a little banged up and isn't having the best season right now. Wyatt Teller is that as well, um, among others. I think in order for the Browns to sell some players off like that, then it's going to take something major to happen, like a really good draft compensation. They can like third and fourth round picks, which I'm not sure the teams are willing to give that up. But I'm hoping that they hold on to a David Njoku because although Harold Feynman Jr. is a really good rookie, I think he is better served as the chess piece that you can move around as the H back, as your tight end, as your slot, as your X, and while still having inline threat tight end like a David Njoku. I think that's really going to come down to what David Njoku's price going to be. One, what people are trying to offer to get him, and then two, what would it look like to re-sign him? Because based on how banged up he's been, how he's played over the last 2 years, he's not a top of the line tight end that you would pay George Kittle money per se. Um, so I'm interested to see how that kind of shakes out with this offensive line. I think we've talked at nauseum about how we don't have any offensive linemen, any starting offensive linemen under contract next year. So that'll be pertinent. Or that makes sense that you get rid of potentially a Wyatt Teller for the right price at this point in time. But also, like, if you want to see what these quarterbacks got, you need some semblance of offensive line. Offensive line that has one of the worst tackle situations in the league and overall. It's kind of been mid, mid at best, and at times really, really, really bad. So, I don't know if trading them is really an option, but we'll see over this next couple of weeks. I think this may turn out to be a very huge week. I think the bye week, week 9, is I think the trade deadline's like that week, which is kind of good for the Browns, but also which I think makes this Patriots game pretty interesting. I think if this game is close, maybe potentially if the Browns get a dub, maybe they look to be buyers at the deadline with that schedule softening up. I think right after that you got like the Jets and then Baltimore or something like that. So that might change the way you feel about it. Not to mention, I think you got Tennessee in there and the lighter side of your schedule. Whereas if you lose and you get blown out, especially, yeah, you probably at 2-6 halfway through the season, you're probably packing it in and saying, we'll get them next year. um, I'd like to see the Browns and try to add some wide receivers. Quincy said Marvin Mims is a really good target. I don't know if they would want to trade a all pro returner and what that price would be. But they are definitely, I think, I don't know. I don't know if there are receivers to be had, but I think there's receivers that are better than the ones that we have specifically. I saw Tyler Lockett asked for his release in Tennessee. The Brown, I'm assuming he wants to win. and the Browns would not be that situation. However, he's a sure-handed slot receiver who in zones gets open a lot. Man to man is still capable of getting open. So I actually would be interested in a guy like that, just a vet to kind of stabilize that role. Because Jerry Judy's your vet. No disrespect to Jerry Judy, but he's not like the type of receiver that needs to be coaching up those young guys. And I think even a Tyler Lockett at his advanced age would be super helpful. And I would be interested to see what that would look like in in our locker room. Uh, but yeah, you think about some loaded wide receiver rooms. That's going on in the NFL. Let's see. If you think about, let's talk NFC North. You got the Lions, not necessarily known for their depth for sure. You got Lions. You got the Bears, who are not maybe. It's like no, not really. They got Zacchaeus and Burden instead 3 and 4. Green Bay got a lot of guys in there. I thought we should have made a call for Dobbs earlier, but he's playing really well. So not them. Minnesota, they just got Thielen back, so not really. In the South, you got the Panthers, the Falcons. Tampa is pretty banged up at receiver. I would have thought about them earlier. New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed is very interesting. He's not necessarily a veteran, but he's a burner, and the Browns need a burner. Um, so that's a guy who's young. I think he got a contract already, and I think he'd be really good at it. We talk about Chris Olave, who probably commands more money. It's like probably the overall better receiver. Rashid Shaheed is a big play waiting to happen. I'd love to have him on the Cleveland Browns. You think about the West, the Rams got a lot of guys, but I don't know necessarily anybody you really would kind of target. Tutu Atwell's that explosive guy that kind of fits too. He hasn't been getting as much playing time. The Niners are beat up. Uh, Cardinals don't have nobody. Seahawks not really. And then you go to the West or the East rather. Cowboys. We got Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Giants. No, nobody really got receivers there. Um, yeah. So I mean, that kind of leaves you like Christian Kirk's banged up for Houston. Tennessee, not really nobody. The Colts got a lot of guys. I don't know. They're younger guys, but I don't know if they're really trying to get rid of any of those. The Jags, we love trading with the Jags, but I don't think they got nobody. Then you got the Chiefs, who low key got a lot of fucking receivers. Chiefs, Chargers. Chargers got a lot of young guys. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. They're trying to get rid of Jacoby Myers. He's a solid kind of a receiver that can help stabilize a room, be a solid number two. The Broncos, we talked about Marvin Mims, and then you got the Patriots, the Jets, the Giants. We talked about the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. Not a lot of receivers out there, but there's some guys I think that are to be had. So we'll see how that ends up turning up. But I think, yeah, the Browns should be aggressive and, like I said, try to stabilize this room, if not for anything, for the future, and just to get a solid read on Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders when that time comes, man. Because right now, it's really like Harold Fanning is only it's really been the only threat in the passing game. Judy been dropping a lot of passes. Nobody else really gets open, and Joker's been banged up. They need some help over there for sure. But anyway, talking about the game, injury reports are out. Batonio full, Tyson Campbell limited with a quad, Malik Collins full after a day of rest, Conklin limited for this rest day. He's cleared out of concussion protocol, so he should be good to go. Mason Graham full, that's great. Back to back 4 days from Mike Hall, so I'd expect him to play this week. Shelby Harris full, Aiden Huntington, DNP with a concussion, he probably misses this week. Rayshawn Jenkins after a big game has a DNP, wrist and back. That's not good. Judy limited with the knee. Joker limited with the knee with a brace. Post his DNP, but he just illness. Denzel Ward full. Blake Whiteheart full. things that worry you there is Rayshon Jenkins, who's played his stuff well into that third safety role. Well, that's the only one that really concerns you. A lot of optimism, though, from a lot of the full guys. On the other side, to the Patriots, Christian Barmore full, Stephon Diggs limited, but he's probably going to play. Kyle Duggar hopped up and limited with a knee. We'll see what that is. Christian Gonzalez full, Hawkins full, Landry limited with an ankle, Morgan Moses limited, not injury related. Ponder limited, I don't know who that is. Tonga limited, Woods full, Woodson limited. I don't know those guys. The main one there, Diggs, but he's likely to play. Duggar, we'll see what happened because he wasn't on the report Wednesday. And then Christian Gonzalez being full. And then maybe Harold Landry being limited. But limited, the guys that are limited that played the week before tend to play. So the Browns relatively healthy for this part of the season. Probably been in recent years. So that's pretty good. I'm excited to see this game. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. I think it's going to be a lot better than people think. I think this might be the game where the Browns offense starts to put it together. Don't know why. Don't know why. I just kind of feel that way. It's kind of got that feeling. Um, so interested to see how it turns out. But other than that, man, I'm out.